This is Viva Fry.
I'm Dr. Peter McCullough.
This is Tom Luongo.
This is Chuck Prodnick.
This is Alex Kreiner.
Hey, this is Brad Wall.
This is JP Sears.
Hi, this is Frank Peretti.
This is Tammy Peterson.
This is Danielle Smith.
This is James Lindsay.
Hey, this is Brett Kissel, and you're listening to the Shaun Newman Podcast.
Welcome to the podcast, folks. Happy Monday. How's everybody doing today? Let's start with a little precious metal, shall we? We're talking silver gold bull. If you hop on silvergoldbull.ca, you're going to see they got a 1 ounce Remembrance Day colorized silver coin at the top of the list. Remembrance Day tomorrow. Shout out to all the veterans out there. On this show, Chuck and Jamie at the top of the list of guys who've served for our country. And, my I don't know, not even a tip of the cap. It's more than that. I got a ton of time for all the military men out there, and cool to see Silver Gold Bull at the top of their list today. When I hopped on, check out what they have to offer, a 1 ounce Remembrance Day coin. So if you're interested in anything like that, of course, they got a ton of other things. You can also go down in the show notes, whether it's around buying, selling, storing, or using your retirement accounts to invest in precious metals. You can reach out to Grahame. The details down in the show notes. Once again, silvergoldbull.ca.com, whichever side of the border you're on. Just make sure to reference the Shaun Newman podcast. Bow Valley Credit Union, buying and selling Bitcoin has never been easier. Bow Valley Credit Union has developed the first in Canada Bitcoin gateway. With just a few clicks, you can buy Bitcoin directly from your Bow Valley Credit Union account. And your Bitcoin account, Bitcoin Gateway account, is linked to your traditional BVCU bank account, enabling seamless on-ramps and off-ramps between fiat and Bitcoin. A little tech expertise or knowledge of blockchain required. You can visit Bow Valley Credit Union, BowValleyCU, that is, .com for more information. Profit River. Well, when it comes to firearms anywhere in Canada, these are the guys. You can head to profitriver.com. They have a wide variety of ammunition, firearms, optics, accessories, everything there. And on any order, make sure to use the coupon code SMP, whether you're over the phone, stopping into the store, or buying anything online. Of course, they ship anywhere in Canada. And with these strange times, odd times, bizarre times, I don't know what times we're in anymore, but certainly you can get your PAL, and if you got that, you should be taking a look at what Profit River has to offer. You just go to profitriver.com. They are the major retailer of firearms, optics, and accessories, and they serve all of Canada. Windsor Plywood, builders of the podcast studio table for everything wood. These are the guys. It's going to be some, now with the snow flying here, at least in Lloyd, although we're supposed to have like +8 coming up here. So hopefully that melts everything away and we can get a proper freezing before it continues to do what it's doing here. But I assume you're moving indoor for some projects, and whether when you're looking for character wood, whether we're talking mantles, decks, windows, not decks, let's go mantles, coffee tables, podcast studio tables. The new studio has some character wood in it from Windsor. When you're looking for character wood, stop into Windsor Plywood. Tell them I sent you. Tell Carly hello, and stop into Lloydminster's Windsor Plywood today. Some upcoming dates that are of note. Mashspiel, January 17th. We're going to be in Kalmar. We got less than 12 teams available. You can sign up as an individual or as a team of 4. That's all down in the show notes. That's January 17th. The Cornerstone Forum returns March 28th in Calgary at the Westin Calgary Airport. We just confirmed last week Sam Cooper is now going to be at the Cornerstone Forum. So that's the latest, and you can get your early bird ticket prices on sale until December 31st. So this year, if you're going to be coming to the Cornerstone Forum, that is, March 28th at the Westin, you should stop in and grab tickets for early bird prices. This will be the best deals you get here in this 2025 for the 2026 event. And Sam Cooper now joining Tom Luongo, Alex Kreiner, Vince Lanchi, Matt Ehret, Chad Prather, Karen Katowski, Tom Bodrovics, 222 minutes, and more to come. So that is the latest development. Sam Cooper going to be at the Cornerstone Forum 2026. Substack, free to subscribe to. Gives you the weekend review on Sundays. That's the easiest way to keep up on what's happening on the podcast, and it's free to subscribe to. You can also become a paid member and support the what I do here on the SNP. If you're listening or watching on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, Rumble, X, Facebook, make sure to subscribe, make sure to leave a review, make sure to share with a friend. All right, let's get on to that tail of the tape. Today's guest is a proud Albertan and expert in FN Nano photocatalytic coatings. I'm talking about Patrik Pavlica. So buckle up, here we go. Welcome to the Shaun Newman podcast. Today I'm joined by Patrik Pavlica. How close am I?
Yes, pretty close.
Pretty close. Well, it was worth a shot, folks. It was worth a shot. How's Patrik doing today?
I'm good, you?
All right, I think. Like overall, I got nothing to complain about. Yourself?
Yeah, no complaints except the 5-hour drive from Calgary up here.
Well, I tell you what. Let's start off. It's probably not. It's got to be a nice bonus for making that drive, but there's a 1 ounce silver coin for making the drive. This is what you get by making the drive instead of doing virtual. You get a 1 ounce silver coin from Silver Gold Bull.
Cool, thank you very much.
I don't know if you're a silver guy, maybe you're a gold guy, maybe you're a honey guy, maybe you're a Chuck Prodnick and you're a leg guy.
Yeah.
Maybe you're all of the above.
Exactly, all of the above.
Patrik, your first time on the show. Like, I ran into you for the first time at the Cornerstone Forum. I think that's the first time.
No, we met each other before at the Injection of the Truth.
Oh, yes,
in
the
Calgary.
Injection of the Truth. Yes, you are correct. Yes. Yep. Well, this has been, in my opinion, a long time in the works. It seemed like every time we got a little closer, something would happen. I'll take all the blame, folks, because I seem to be the busy one. I'm sure Patrik is a busy man as well. But you finally sit in the chair. Tell the audience a bit about yourself.
I'm 51 years old. I came to Calgary, Canada 13 and a half years ago. And I choose Calgary because of it's very close to mountains. I am adventure guy, so I like climbing, skiing, hiking, spending time in the bush. And I'm actually applying this very unique technology, which is called Nano Technology coatings. And we apply those coatings for people and our planet, because what it does when it applies on the exterior of the buildings, it cleans the air for us and maintains the buildings clean and fresh for decades. When it's applied indoors, it does clean the air for us, oxygenize the air, which is the second benefit. And the third benefit, it's reducing the cost of cleanings.
Before we get to the product, you moved 13 and a half years ago to Calgary.
That's right.
I have my thoughts on Calgary. Sorry, Calgary. But regardless, I'm kidding. I like you, Calgary. I like you just fine. Where did you come from?
I came from Czechoslovakia.
Okay.
That's where I was born. While the life went on, it was separated into two different countries. So now it's Czech Republic and Slovak Republic because of the politics and BS and whatnot. But now it's Czech and Slovak. Yes, two separate countries.
Do you think there's a place on this planet that doesn't have government BS happening?
Very few. Maybe a rainforest in Peru.
Yeah, if you go like completely off but then you got to deal with, I don't know, some poisonous, venomous snake is probably what becomes your day-to-day worry there. I was just having a conversation with a friend before we walked in here, and we got talking about different areas of the world, and I'm like, I just don't think there's a place where you could move to, and all of a sudden, now there'll be different levels of what the government is doing on everyday life.
Yep.
I'm sure there's places that don't have Canada's insanity of, I don't know, MAID and other things going on. But, when you move from the Czech Republic, why come here? Why not stay in the Czech Republic?
Well, there was a couple of reasons. Because prior that move from Czech to Canada, I used to live in States. So I kind of got used to that North American style of living. I'm not saying it's better, it's different. Some things are easier, some things are worse. But I was talking to my wife about either Australia or Canada. And she was like, no, I don't like snakes, I don't like poison spiders.
So she won't be living in the rainforest.
So she kind of decide for us that it's Canada. And I was looking at the map. I'm like, okay, I want to be close to mountains, so Calgary it is. And the other factor was also the politics. We are very conservative people, so there was basically not very many options left but Calgary.
Forgive me because I don't know a whole bunch about the Czech Republic, right? Minus their hockey. That's, and then that probably doesn't go that deep, folks. When you say you're very conservative, like, was leaving Czech an easy decision? You said things were better. Some things were better here. Some things were worse. What was better living over there than when you came here?
What was better over there? I would start with what was worst. Basically, that people are talking behind your back, and that kind of attitude from foreign communism times, it's still in the people. Basically, if you're gonna build new house, your neighbor would be looking for to build 2-story house because they wanna show they are better than you, or they can afford more than you. This is in people's attitude. This is in their brains, and I didn't like that at all.
Where do you think that comes from?
Hard to say. Maybe from communist regimes, because in communist times everybody should be equal, right? And this is one of the idea. And I didn't like that. No.
That's interesting because, like, how long ago was that area communist?
Until 1989, when the Berlin Wall fell down. And since then, we went on the road of being capitalism country.
So 30-some years later, 36 years later,
Yep.
and you can still see the attitude of,
Exactly.
I don't know, what do we call that?
Just looking at our government, our president, it used to work for KGB in Russia, and now he hates Russians. And our prime minister, which is actually leading the country, he was also like a KGB agent. So just looking at this is still remaining. Until my generation, I was 16 when the Berlin Wall fell down. Until my generation will die, there will be communism involved in leading the country, in between the people, in their attitudes, in their minds.
So it takes a full generation, essentially, is what you're saying, to move on from
Yep.
a certain set of ideas.
Exactly. That's what it is. That's my experience, at least.
No, I'm just like, that's a tough thing to hear, isn't it? Because you're like, we got all, like, you sit in Canada, we got all these crazy ideas. We get, like, literally crazy ideas. You're like, this has to change. Like, we have to change. I was just watching Pierre Polyev, his comments on mandatory minimums for child pornography and how the judges, did they get rid of the law? I don't know. I should look that up. I want, because I don't want to say it wrong. But essentially, they voted down your minimum sentences for child pornography, right? And you're like,
Crazy.
That's crazy. These are very poor ideas.
Yep.
And yet we're just implementing them, which means if they were to continue, not that they all follow the logic of what you're saying, but some of them will, that it'll take a full generation before you can actually get rid of some of this stupidity that is going on in society right now.
Yeah, that is right.
When you were living through COVID, did you go, we made a mistake in coming to Canada and being in Calgary?
Well, it was same measures pretty much all over the world, except probably on those very rural areas, such as rainforest in the middle of nowhere. The measures were quite similar, and like North America was always behind because it was coming from Asia through Europe into North America. So I was watching the news from Russia because I still speak Russian. I was watching the news from Czech. Then I was watching the news from Germany, and then I'm like, okay, this is coming here. We all need to prepare. And when I saw all different kind of measures, I was like, okay, this is not good. And we need to actually, we need to say no. Simple as that.
It didn't matter if you were back home or here. The answer was just say no.
Say no. No masks. No vaccines, none of that stuff. No, just say no. Simple as that.
Here was what I was referencing. Supreme Court of Canada strikes down mandatory minimums for child pornography possession. The Supreme Court of Canada ruled 5-4 on October 31st. The 1-year mandatory minimum sentences for possessing or accessing child pornography under the Criminal Code violate Section 12 of the Charter of Rights and Freedoms by imposing cruel and unusual punishment on less culpable offenders. The decision involves the decision in cases involving Nova Scotia men Jean-Francois Naud and Marc-Andre Seneville found the provisions overbroad while maintaining maximum penalties up for 10 years in judicial discretion. Anyways, that's what I was referencing. I don't know what's happening back in your homeland. This is probably your homeland now. It's just interesting because you have world perspective. You've been in the United States. You've been in I don't know. Is it Czechia now? Is that your Czech Republic and Canada? Gives you a bit of world experience to see how different countries are dealing with the world today, I guess.
Yeah, that's right. And between US and Canada, I lived in Zurich in Switzerland for 1 year. So I was actually able to see how direct democracy is working, which is what I would like to see here in Alberta. Basically, if there is a need for referendum, people can call for referendum 4 times a year, and their government is way smaller. The president is elected for 1 year. So yeah, I saw that and I was like, okay, this is the system which is actually working, and it's exact direct democracy, as pure as it can be.
Switzerland,
yes. Then I lived in Warsaw in Poland, which is quite similar attitude and kind of style of living, because it's a Slavic country as well. And I spent some time in Prague, in Czech Republic, and then I was like, okay, no, I need to go somewhere else. So, Calgary.
So you bring up, and forgive me, you bring up your product, and I'm going to butcher it. Is it Nano, FN Nano?
Yes, this is the name. It's a shortcut for functional coatings.
Okay.
That's why it's very tough to promote it, because it doesn't mean much. That's why we have a website which is called We Clean Air. Simple as that. It speaks for itself.
Now, in the middle of COVID, I would assume something like this. I remember being like, why don't we have like all the blue collar people come in and give us all the best ways to get everybody back going the way they should be going? You can't act like we're going to live in a bubble for the next 100 years. And you never heard of ideas like this. So walk me through it.
Well, during COVID, I had actually a call center, and I called every single private medical clinic. Eye doctors, dentists, all the private clinics around BC, Alberta, Saskatchewan. And there was zero interest. Nobody was interested. They were all telling me the same story. Oh, we are using whatever the government is telling us. We are using a bunch of hand sanitizers and face masks. And I was like, okay, sure. So... And then I experienced something very strange. Also, I was talking to schools, not only hospitals and private clinics, but also nursing homes, because those nursing homes, they do need good air quality for the older people who already struggling with some kind of issues, right? So when I got to speak with one of the manager of a nursing home in Calgary, it was a very strange experience, and he basically sent me to hell. He was like, no, we are not interested. We are not.
I don't understand what strange experience means. You got to walk me through this. Like, strange means a heck of a lot more.
Okay, so if you want me to say it, exactly his words, I will say it.
Sure.
So what happened, because we were not able to meet in person at all, right? Because we were all going to die. So I got this gentleman on the phone, and prior our conversation, I sent him all the informations, how effective it is, and that it can actually eliminate COVID, any viruses and microbes from the air within a couple of minutes. So I sent him all that stuff, so he was aware what our conversation is going to be about. And after I spoke to him, basically I asked him, like, hey, what are you actually doing to get the lives of your clients better? And he told me, I don't give a fuck about his old farts, which was kind of heartbreaking. I was like, wow, okay, it was an eye-opener for me. And then I said, okay, so what's your job? And he answered, my job is to keep this house full. That was it. So I was shocked, but I guess this is life, 2025. And my other experience was with actually the health minister of Alberta, this province. They would not even let me talk to him. When I got into health minister's office, that was a Jason Copping at those days, March 2021. They sent me away. They were like, oh, you have something that eliminates COVID, please leave. So I left, obviously, right? And other experience which I had during COVID, it was I was trying to let people know about this technology, which would be eliminating COVID in minutes, through all media. So I've talked to all TV stations, zero interest. I sent them emails, hundreds phone calls. So I then decided to go there by myself, but the doors were locked. And when I got to Calgary Herald, huge big building on Deerfoot and 16th Avenue, it's not Calgary Herald anymore, it's something else. But anyways, when I got there in March 21, there was only one vehicle on the entire parking lot. And I was like, okay, this is probably the security guard. And then I was right, obviously. So I walk in, there was the security guard guy behind the desk. And he was like, hey, how can I help you? Nobody is here in this building. This building is sitting empty for 1 year. So I said, well, I would like to get an article in Calgary Herald, Calgary Sun about this technology which can help with this pandemic, right? They call it pandemic. We were calling this plandemic. So basically he handed me a piece of paper with a bunch of names and emails, and he's like, good luck. And I was like, okay, sure. So no help there either. I guess society was not open to any different ideas, different options, how we could get rid of this COVID stuff, right? Yeah, pretty strange experiences.
Yeah, well, strange actually does fit the bill, doesn't it? Like, I mean, it honestly... But I don't know. It's so, like, it's interesting to listen to different people's accounts during that time of trying to speak to the government about things. Like, well, what the heck is going on here? Like, why aren't we doing X, Y, Z? Why aren't we trying these different things? It became a very one idea-focused approach. There's one way to get out of this. Everybody do it. And then everybody do it again. And if you got to do it again. And that'll be the way we get out of this thing. So I can partially understand, and not in why they wouldn't talk to you, but to me it just comes in a long series of people that had similar experiences, I guess, is kind of the thing. So is it paint?
It's applied as a paint. It's a coating.
Okay, it's a coating.
Yes.
Dumb question. Is a paint, and I guess there's tons of different coatings you can do. That's why you use the word coating.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Because paint is just one form of application that could be considered a coating. So this coating doesn't act like a paint.
No, it doesn't.
So what does it do?
Okay, together with UVA light, which is very easy outside on exteriors, on the buildings, it creates photocatalytic reaction. Photo, it's light from Spanish, and catalytic basically cleans, right? So photocatalytic reaction removes all airborne particles from air. If it's dust, pollens, mold, bacteria, viruses, including COVID, they will get eliminated. If it's applied indoors, we have to have UVA lights installed which shines on the ceiling, because we apply the coating on the ceilings when it's indoors. If it's a drop ceiling like yours, or popcorn, knockdown, any of these structures can be applied. I mean, the coating can be applied on.
Okay, we're going to start with outside for a second.
Okay.
So you put it on outside.
Yep.
I assume you pressure wash the building, you let it dry,
That's right.
then you put it on.
Yep.
And you're saying it can remove things out of the air.
Yep.
For how long?
Airborne particles. Okay, if the coating is not repainted, resprayed, recovered with something else, there is basically no wear. It's not like our knees or tires on our vehicles. There is nothing to wear because it's not a chemical reaction. It's a photocatalytic reaction. So as long as the lights shine on the surface, or as long as the UVA is present,
So as long as the sun's shining.
it's doing its thing. It thinks, yes. Basically creates the light and the coating together, starts the photocatalytic reaction, and that removes everything what's airborne.
Well, seems too good to be true. It's like you're telling me you put this stuff on and then you don't have any bacteria, mold, nothing like that can build up on it because it's destroying it as it goes along, as long as it has enough sunlight. I assume here in Canada in the middle of winter that can be a little interesting, but at the same time in the cold weather, I once again, folks, I'm not a biologist or whatever the term is. Like, does mold and stuff build up on the outside of -40, or is that more of a warm weather problem?
Not really. When it's -40, the mold, it's not
Yeah, nothing's growing.
not sticking to the buildings. Nope.
So on the outside, if you paint this or coat this with adequate sunlight, you're saying like it'll look, I don't know, maybe I'm not saying this right, Patrick, pristine? Like it just won't fade? It won't, like, will you notice anything? Like if you go, can you, like, is this for industrial buildings or this is any building?
Pretty much any building, our coating can be applied on any surface except glass. Stucco, concrete, brick, concrete blocks, wooden siding, that's my house. But it preserves the building, so it can maintain fresh for decades, right? And it cleans the air around us. I mean, for us. The main idea of the founder, which is holder of 200 patents, over 200 patents in Nano Technologies, extremely smart guy. He was born in Czechoslovakia, just like me. So he's got a Czech passport, and he immigrated into United States just before the Berlin Wall fell down. So he's a US and Czech resident. And his main idea was to make Prague the cleanest city in Europe. So he was not looking to install these coatings indoors at all. That was his main idea, to clean air outside from vehicle emissions, from pollutants.
You're saying if a city put this all on every single building in the city, they'd have cleaner air than anywhere else because it's constantly cleaning the air from vehicle pollutants to people smoking to, I don't know, just sick people walking around coughing on things, like just all the stuff getting put out in the air. If you had it on every building, it'd just be like a natural cleaner, just constantly cleaning.
Exactly, that's right. And on top of that, the coating reflects oxygen back into the atmosphere. So it's most likely planting a trees. And also what the coating does, it cools the building in the summer months.
So where's the but? But, you know, it is got kid labor or something that helps it. Like, is it a natural, like all the things about this are great?
Titanium dioxide is the main particle of the coating, and it's mined in Japan because Japan has the cleanest titanium dioxide. And titanium dioxide is used in all kind of things which we get across every single day. Toothpaste, sunscreens, food coloring, makeups, paint, you name it. This is the main particle. Small, tiny.
Any health risks to this? Like, is there any, like, I don't know. What's the word I'm looking for here? Like, any ramifications to the health? I can't spit it out today, folks. Like, is there any health impact on human beings if this was put on every single building? You're constantly around it. Like, would there be anything that, you know, it causes cancer, or it actually causes asthma, or I don't know.
No, it actually helps people with any breathing difficulties. Asthma, shortness of breath. This is actually what we need. We need clean, fresh air full of oxygen.
And so if you put this on every building, what do people say to you when you bring them this product? Like, is it standoffish, or are they like, no, just put it up, let's try this out? And then I guess, do they notice something right away?
It's very hard to measure. Like, we do have air quality devices, right? And especially in last 2 years, we have applied this coating in Milano, in Italy, on many buildings outside. And what they have these huge vans with air quality devices, and they measure the air quality inside the city of Milano. And they have very good results.
So you think this is the way the future is going in certain parts of the world where they'll give it a try?
Yeah, exactly.
Because you think if everybody just threw it on every house you have in Calgary, can you imagine the wide adoption of something like this? They actually want to save the planet, clean the air, all the things they say, and then do the opposite of, regardless. That's a small rant. If they did this, you'd be able to watch it over the course of a year and go, holy crap, we're actually doing something.
Yeah, exactly.
So when
Right.
okay, so let's move inside then. Inside, you don't put it on the walls, you only put it on the roof.
Yeah, that's right. Only ceilings.
Why ceilings?
Well, there is multiple reasons. A, the hot air goes up on its own and brings all the airborne particles with it. As I mentioned before, dust, pollens, mold, bacteria, viruses.
All live in the ceilings?
Yep. So we do apply the coating on ceilings only, not on the walls. As I said, the hot air goes up. And the other thing is, there needs to be lights installed on the walls, which shine on the ceiling and starts the photocatalytic reaction.
Because you don't have the sunlight to produce the reaction you need. So you have to install. That makes sense to me. Okay.
Because the older windows, they didn't have in the past 40, 50, 60 years ago, they didn't have these UVA protection films on them. But the newer windows, they usually do, which means those windows block the UVA comes into your house. And this is what we need. We need UVA to be present.
The more I learn about the sun, the more you don't want to block anything it has to offer. Am I wrong in that?
Yeah, that's right. Nope.
And yet, what do? We build windows that
blocks UVA.
Yeah. Doesn't that seem counterproductive?
Or sunscreen SP 50 or whatever. Yeah. You put it on and you can potentially cause skin cancer, right?
Yeah.
Yep. That's right.
Okay, so you put it on the ceiling. You put your special lights in.
Mm-hmm.
If I did it in, let's say, just this room, what would I notice? Like, I assume in a smaller area, you can notice things right away. Or am I wrong on that?
Yes, no, you're not wrong. That's absolutely right. You would notice fresher air, oxygenized air, no smell, no odors. Let's say you're going to have a cat here. It will eliminate all the odors. Cooking, bad odors. Yeah.
In our house, moisture, right? You got a hot house, cold outside, constantly fluctuating, blah, blah, blah. Around the windowsills is where I notice black mold. Would that eliminate that?
That's right. Everything that's airborne, it gets eliminated.
Just by having it on the ceilings, all that goes away.
Well, because the air in your house circulates, right? Imagine HVAC blowing air from your ducts, right? And it goes up, right? Because warm air goes up and brings all the airborne particles with it. It's not going to work on dog's hair because they are too heavy to be airborne. But whatever is airborne, it will get eliminated.
And now I kind of want to see it work. On your website, is there videos of this?
Yes. We do have a YouTube channel, and there is a video which explains, like animated video which explains for 10-year-old how does it work, what does it do, and what we can achieve as a population.
Well, I just think of like, I don't know about everybody else, but myself, when the seasons change, right? And you get all the, different airborne particles that are coming off of just harvest out here, but also the mold from underneath the snow and the leaves and the dead grass and on and on and on. Oh, but then you look inside the house in the I don't know, the black mold, I guess. It's not like we got a ton of it, but every once in a while I do notice it and you clean it off or you use something to get it out of there and try and clean it up the best you can. What I'm wondering, like, I'm listening, I'm like, that'd be interesting. So you put it on the ceiling in one room. Would you have to do the whole house to have a complete effect on it?
Yes.
Is it expensive?
Well, yes and no. Depends how you look at it.
Yes.
What's the price for your health? Priceless, right? And we want to be in a clean environment. So anyways, I will get to this. Let me explain what is the whole procedure, okay? So
sure.
What we do, we cover the walls with plastic sheets. We cover the floors. We move the furniture around, cover the furniture just like as you spraying a ceiling, right? Because that's what we are doing, literally, right? So then we apply a water-based primer. This is a very important step of the application because we want to make sure that the coating will bond properly. people can have latex, oil-based paint on the ceilings or any kinds, right? So we do have to apply 1 coat of water-based primer. We use Kills 2 here in North America, which is working just fine for our purposes. And then we do apply 3 layers of our coating. Then we clean up, all the plastic goes down, all the drop sheets will be taken care of. Then we clean, and then we also install those UVA lights. So those are part of the application because they have to be there.
Yes.
And for this, we do charge $11 per square feet. Is it a lot? Is it cheap? Is it expensive? I don't know. But there is definitely a lot of people who are not afraid to pay even more because they have health issues.
So if
Their
I'm
kids
doing
have asthma.
if I'm doing my math correct, and quote me if I'm wrong on this, if you had 1,000 square foot house, then you're saying $11,000.
Yep.
$11,000 for
That's
1,000 square foot house
Yes,
to do the inside.
to do the inside. Lots of folks just start with, let's say, their office. A lot of people work home, right? Since COVID, a lot of people stayed home. They work like a home office kind of thing. And they start with the home office. I mean, with their office in their house. Some folks do their bedrooms. Like I have a client that was November 2020 when he was hospitalized with COVID. And he came back home after 3 weeks in the hospital. And he was constantly coughing. He was attached to an oxygen hose, basically from a machine size of a dishwasher. It's an oxygen generating machine. It doesn't actually generate the oxygen. It's only separate the oxygen from the rest of the air and supplies that oxygen into your nose through a rubber hose. So he was attached to this 24/7. Yeah, please. Thank you.
Sorry, I should have offered that right off the hop.
No,
A bottle of water for anybody wondering.
all good. Yeah, bottle of water. It's not a whiskey or beer.
I haven't been drinking all year, so those days, I don't know, are they behind me? They feel like it. But certainly the studio, if you wanted something a little more spicy, we can always do that too.
Yeah. So this gentleman, he came home and he was attached to oxygen basically 24/7. So his wife looked us up and she called me. She's like, "Hey, Patrik, we want to try it in our bedroom." I said, "Okay, sure, yes." Because my husband, he's laying next to me, he's coughing and constantly, awake all night. So we would like to try your product, your technology in our bedroom. I said, "Sure, yeah." So we did it. We applied the coating in their bedroom. And it didn't take long. The next morning, she called me. It was 8 o'clock in the morning and she was crying. She was like, "Patrik, we were both sleeping 6 hours. I don't even remember when that happened last time." So it does work, obviously.
Did they? So once again, that goes back to a room. So in where he was sleeping, he has breathing issues.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They do it to the ceiling, and all of a sudden it's just like fixed. Or,
Yep.
I mean, you might as well call it fixed off that story, right? Like these lights you have to put in. Do they got to stay on all the time?
As long as you want the coating to be working, yes.
So, like, do you need it to work all day long? Or is this something at night you flick on? I'm just kind of curious now. I'm like, so you're going to have this, like, weird glow to your house?
It glows a little bit, basically like these glowing mini golfs for kids.
Sure, you don't need a night light anymore.
Or some kind of techno parties when you see old white on you glowing, right? Yes, it does glow, yes.
So, you just think about it like people are interesting because when they get pushed into the situation of this couple you're talking about, anything, just give me anything that'll work. This sounds interesting. Let's try it. She calls you crying because she's just like, we were out of options. Like nothing is working. And then all of a sudden it works. Now you've sold them for life, I assume.
Yep.
Probably become a very good salesman for you because they they didn't have anywhere to turn. But other people are going to be like, I don't know. How much is the airborne stuff in my house really affecting me, Patrik? Is it worth putting all this money into? Is it? I don't know. What would you say to that?
Give it a try. Let's try part of your house instead of the full house.
Yeah.
Where do you spend most of the time? Kitchen, office, bedroom?
Well, you got to think bedroom, don't you?
Most likely, yeah.
Right? You're sleeping every night?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yep.
you could probably notice with your example, it's health problems, right? So if you're sitting there right now and you're having issues with breathing or constant, I don't know, maybe colds or like infections or stuff like that. Like I talked to this one lady. Man, how long ago was that? Doesn't matter. She worked in an office, and then they eventually found out there was mold in there, and she had a whole crazy amount of health problems happen to her. And you go like, I don't think anyone was thinking about changing the paint. What would they do? They'd talk, well, get the mold out of there. Well, how do you get the mold out of there and keep it out of there? What you're saying is you put this stuff up, you're never going to have mold anymore.
That's right. Yep. It doesn't help to get rid of the mold, but once it's gone, then it will not build up again.
Right. So you'd have to get the mold out, but
Yep.
after that, like it won't come back.
That's right. Yep.
How did you find this? Like you moved over here, 12 years ago. Was this something you were doing 12 years ago, or is this something along your path you just stumbled into? You mentioned the guy who's got the 200 plus patents is from the Czech Republic, and he
Yep.
moved here before the Berlin Wall fell, or moved to the United States, I should say.
Yep.
How did you stumble into this?
Well, I came across this technology with my wife's cousin. All of a sudden, out of the blue, he called me and he's like, "Hey, Patrik, you have to start selling this product." I was like, "What the hell are you talking about?" So I was trying to find out more. I was very interested, right, because it was fascinating to me. Because my lifetime passion is basically to help nature first and then also people. That's what I do. I help people and I'll help Mother of Nature. And when I saw the video of this man, of the founder, when he's explaining what he's doing and why, I was like, wow, okay, this is what I'm gonna be doing. And this happened 6 years ago. So since then I got hooked and I was like, okay, I will continue with his journey, and I will take on at least west part of Canada, some parts of United States. Basically, we can apply this coating in North America.
When was the first time you saw the product applied? Like, I assume you have like a moment where you're like, oh yeah, this isn't like, because you're watching all these videos,
Mhm.
then kind of proof's in the pudding, like seeing is believing. Eventually,
right.
you had to have put it on and go, I wonder if this is actually going to work. Like all the videos, yeah, this sounds really cool. But when was the first time you actually got to see and experience this coating doing its thing?
That was our house, and I did half of the house only as a test. So imagine kitchen, dining room, living room. It's like a one half of the house, second half it's bedrooms. So I did the kitchen, living room, dining room. And the very first time when I saw a huge difference was when those the summer wild forest fires. I made a video with air quality device. I was sitting in the house. It was all green, good air quality. Then I got out on our deck. My son was filming me, and the device went from green to orange and red.
In the
And
same house?
And it did start beeping. No, that was outside.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
So I went outside with the air quality device. Then I went back into the house, and it went from red to amber and green again. So I was like, okay, fine, there is a proof, right? My personal experience, again, I used to be allergic to fresh cut grass. So when I was cutting the grass on our backyard, I came home, my eyes was running, I had to constantly clean my nose. And after applying this coating, I didn't have to do that. I cleaned my nose once, and that was it. So yeah, allergies for fresh grass and smokes. This is very, very obvious.
I just wonder how many things people are, threw my back out. So I went to an osteopath, and she started working on my back, and she's like, holy crap, was it 10 ribs? Was it 8 ribs? I don't know if I care anymore. At some point, she says, like, your entire back's all messed up. How long you been walking like this? I'm like, well, I don't know. Playing hockey all my life. I never had my back worked on once. And she kind of laughed. She's like, well, that's pretty poor. You don't even realize how uncomfortable you are, right? And then she put everything back in place. And I was saying to the wife, I was sitting on the couch one day, and I kind of gotten used to it. I couldn't now, people, if they're watching, I couldn't turn my neck all the way this way. And I was sitting there one day after I'd gone to the osteopath, and I don't know if I just looked, I'm like, wait a second. I'm like, what in the? And she's like, what? I'm like, I think she fixed my neck. She's like, what? I'm like, I think she fixed my neck. And Mel's like, I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm like, I haven't been able to move my neck that far for like 2 years. She's like, well, what? And I'm like, no, dead serious. And I just kind of got accustomed. Well, I guess I ain't going to move my neck. Like, and then that just became my range of motion, if you would, right? So going, tying that to this coating, I'm like, I wonder how many of us have allergies or just times of the year where things get really rough on the sinuses, so to speak, and just it's just the time of the year. It's not that big a deal. You just suffer through it for a couple of days. You take some medication, you do all the different things. And what you're pointing out is maybe there's a different way to do it where you actually relieve all those symptoms, and it comes with a coating in your house.
Yeah, that's right. There is lots of allergies, especially in the springtime. Fall, winter, spring, all the viruses being, in the air, it helps eliminate all those.
If they had done this, you think the government looking for all the let's look for solutions, although they didn't look very hard because we could have found them an awful lot during the COVID years. But in COVID, in theory, if they put this in all the schools, right, put it in all the ceilings of the school,
the schools wouldn't have to be closed at all because that would be fresh air.
Well, you even
instead of that, what they were doing, they were applying these hand sanitizers, which actually pollutes the air very badly.
Why does hand sanitizer pollute the air?
Alcohol and all the chemicals which are in. Once they are out of the bottle and you put them on your hands, you're basically polluting the air.
You think over the last 100 years how much stuff we put in the air that's polluting it? We probably have zero clue, is what you're pointing out.
Yep.
Because I don't think of, I guess my small brain on this side did not think of putting hand sanitizer on and equating it to polluting the air. I think of putting hand sanitizer on and what are you doing to the body? I actually go the other way. But what you're pointing out is it actually goes into the atmosphere.
Yep. There was lots of tests done in the schools, in the classrooms, with air quality devices, all kinds of different air quality devices, different brands, different qualities, and they were all proving the same thing.
Which was
the air quality was horrible when they were using hand sanitizers. And the windows were shut, and there was no enough air circulations. And compared to that classroom, they were doing the same measure in the classroom where the coating was applied in Prague, and that air was very good in a matter of minutes. 5-10 minutes, the air was done. I mean, the air was clean.
Is there any school that's doing this? Is there any school, sorry, in Alberta or Western Canada that's actually put this stuff in?
Not that I know of. No. There is a lot in Czech Republic.
So if you're over in Czech Republic, this is not an old technology per se, but certainly you're seeing it in different applications there.
Schools, nursing homes, hospitals, private clinics, yes.
This technology.
And also all food industries, beers. When you can the beer in a brewery, you need clean, pristine air. All the big breweries in Czech Republic, Pilsner Urquell, Kozel, Czechvar, all these big breweries, they do have this coating applied in their canning rooms. Food processing, yeah. Cheese, meat, all those places, not all, but a lot of them, they already have this.
How long have you been working with this company? 6 years?
Mm-hmm.
So over 6 years, has your nose improved to where you're almost like, forgive me, folks, is it a bloodhound that has the really good nose? And they can just smell things, 10 miles off. When you walk into a room like this, you're like, oh man, this room could use it. Or are you like, no, it's not so bad. Or you don't have any skill with your nose like that.
I built some sense during these years, yes. And yeah, I can smell way more than I used to because I just paying attention to this. right?
What did you do before this?
I'm general contractor. I build houses, I renovate houses, and I paint houses, yes.
Oh, so it just fit well into what you're already doing. Are you still doing that, or is this full time?
I did actually start painting business because of these nano coatings, because that gets me way closer to talk to the people. Like one of my client, she in Calgary, she was like, "Hey Patrik, I want to make sure all the paints which you are using are zero VOC, basically volatile organic compounds, free of those." So I did start talking to her, and I'm like, "Okay, what's the problem?" "Oh, we are very sensitive, like me and my kids." So I show her the video which explains how our technology works. I show her some videos from our previous clients, and she was like, "Yes, this is what I want. Whole main floor." I was like, "Yeah, sure, you got it."
Have you ever had anyone come back to you and say, "I just didn't like it"?
No, not a complaint, not one.
Just because it's clean air.
Yep. Just
I'm trying to think, so next time I travel to Calgary, mind if I come visit? I kind of want to go smell a clean home. I'm kind of curious now, right? Like, I mean, it sounds so stupid, folks, but I'm like, I wonder if you can just notice when you walk in.
Yeah, you can come visit my house. Or our recent application was actually done at the Bow Valley Credit Union, the Calgary branch, which is at the Avenida Fresh
So
and
Bow
Water.
Valley Credit Union, somehow that shouldn't surprise me. They put it in their offices.
Yep. Not in the entire offices, but basically the main room where their staff interact with the clients. This is where the coating is applied. Yep.
Interesting.
It was done this June before they just opened the branch.
Has it been a hard selling? You go back to COVID. COVID was a strange time.
Mm-hmm.
Since COVID, like, have you had people more curious by what you're doing, or has it still been a tough sled in Canada because, I don't know, at times you go like, man, this seems like a real solution. Now, it isn't $2. Now, in fairness, what's the price on health? I 100% agree. If you're sitting where you can't sleep at night and you have, problems breathing and all the things, you're willing to try whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't have those problems, you might be going, I don't know, am I going to do that or not? Because you haven't seen the light, or maybe you haven't seen or felt or smelt the actual product. You haven't actually got to feel it. Like, is there a way anyone, like, just spitballing with you, is there a way you could have a showroom where this is all up and people could just come in and tour and see all these things? Or maybe you already do this.
No, but what I do at the Cornerstone event, actually, this May.
And I remember.
I had those 2 aquariums.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a tough sell. You cannot touch it. You cannot feel it, right? So this is why I got this from my colleagues in Prague, basically from the founder. He showed me this test, basically 2 identical aquariums. There is small fan which stimulates your furnace, your HVAC system, which moves the air in your house. Then there is this light and a piece of board which actually do something similar to your ceiling, right? So that one of the boards, it's just regular paint, so it's white, and the other board have our coating on, 3 layers of our coating. And then I put into those aquariums pretty much anything what does have a strong smell. I'm using garlic so people are not offended because of gasoline or polish remover or something crazy, right? So I use garlic, and same amount of garlic goes into those 2 aquariums, and one of the aquariums, it's after 5 minutes, it's odorless. You don't smell any garlic. And I've tried gasoline, polish remover. I've tried all kinds of different chemicals, and it always works.
Yeah, I think you can recall me at the Cornerstone Forum. I was seeing double that day, because I remember seeing it. And in growing up in the Czech Republic, as kids, did you do science fairs where kids had to have a project and they build something out, and then they all get together and all the parents come in and they get graded on their project? Am I speaking Greek here, or do you know what I'm talking about?
Well, not so much, because when I grew up, we were still under kind of like a communist control. So there was not very many of these kind of projects, sorry.
So for me, when I listen to you and the thing you had at the 2 aquariums at the Cornerstone, it reminded me of different kids when they have these science fair projects, folks. And you bring it out, and then people walk around and they have to explain what they're doing and why they're doing it and the science behind it. Like, that's what it, when my brief memory of it is, I'm like, oh, it looks kind of like a science project, right? Like you're showing that there's no smell from the garlic in the one room that has the coating. I keep wanting to call it paint. It has the coating compared to the other. And yet it's almost like I didn't fully understand what you were trying to tell me. I was like, okay, all right. Why do I need this? Because in my brain, I go to garlic, even though you were saying bacterias and everything else. If you're sitting having problems with health issues, right? You even think of kids. Kids are getting sick lots. It's like this becomes a solution for that, in theory.
It does, yep. Not only in theory, but also in reality as well.
Yeah, I just want to come see it now. Like I'm sitting here, I just want to come see it now because I'm like, now I'm starting to understand what the heck you were trying to tell me back then. And I'm like, that's interesting. Like I just, I don't know if I got any more questions for you. Isn't that a sad thing? I'm sitting here and I'm like, he's got me in my own head.
Yeah. Yeah, it's quite tough sell. So anyways, if I can,
sure.
if you don't mind, tell you a little bit about history. So the first certification was 2006. So it's not new at all.
Almost 20 years old.
Next year it's gonna be 20 years anniversary. And Jan Procházka, the founder of this technology, he was working on this for 15 years. And prior to this, his dad was working on this for 20 years. So there is years of testing, trying, studies, until they actually get to the point that they realize that this is actually doing what it's supposed to be doing. So cleaning the air and maintaining the buildings from outside if it's applied on exteriors, right? And cooling down the buildings, like lots of benefits. Yeah, I got that flyer which shows that Port Creek Lighthouse.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, we apply the coating on that lighthouse in Mississauga, which is here in Canada, Toronto, not Calgary, not Lloydminster.
Yes, the Port Credit Lighthouse in Mississauga.
So the city of Mississauga, they had to pressure wash the lighthouse 3 times a year in order to keep it somehow clean. And we applied the coating on July 2019, 6.5 years ago. And that lighthouse looks like brand new since then. No mold issue from the lake. No dust from the streets. There is busy street on the other side of the lake, and problem solved.
That's kind of wild, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is wild. So I'm trying to talk to all these kind of organizations, and people have different ideas about Green Deal, right?
About what?
About Green Deal.
Green Deal?
Green Deal, yeah. But this could be part of it and actually something what is doing what it's supposed to be doing, right?
You mean like the green agenda? The green
agenda, yes.
We all move to EVs and we save the planet? That thing? This actually could do some healthy things for our communities? That's what you're pointing out?
Instead of doing something stupid, moving to EVs, the electricity, it's not just like doesn't just appear sometimes, from
a ferry.
Air.
Yes.
Yeah. So the electricity needs to be produced somewhere, somehow, right? And we know that solar panels, windmills, they do some, but not much, right? So we need something steady, stable to supply the whole infrastructure. And this is for cleaning air. I mean, imagine all the overpasses. Where do we create emissions? By driving, right? Overpasses, those soundproof walls, which helps people who have houses right next to the busy highways. It can be applied there. Cities have issues with having very high temperatures in the winter because there is no room for trees. There is only tall buildings, concrete, glass, asphalt. If the coating will be applied on the buildings on the outside, of course not which have only glass, it would help a lot with clean air in the cities and also cooling air in the cities. Colder air.
Is there any chance of getting the guy who developed this on the podcast?
Yeah, for sure.
I'm just kind of curious now. So I assume he's living in a city where there's very little just like you point out, trees and everything. You got automobiles, and you're seeing all the things. You're smelling all the things. You know, like, I don't know. As a kid, I went to L.A., and the smell from L.A., I was like, what is this? I need to get back to the farm, you know?
Mm-hmm.
People complain about the manure. I'm like, holy man, go walk around in L.A. for a day and tell me about smell. In theory, and I guess this would be a question for him, I assume him and as you pointed out, his father, were looking at a problem of like, how do we can't, it's not like we can plant 500 trees or whatever next to the concrete jungle. It's like, you got to be creative about it.
Mm-hmm.
They've been very creative about it in a way that it could clean the air. And what you're pointing out is, you think, oh, you put it on a building or you put it in a house. And you're like, no, you put it on the wall that guards the freeway, because it would actually clean the air from all the automobiles where the traffic is. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Clean the air where the problem begins, right? And we create lots of emissions by driving our vehicles, which is normal, right? For 100 years. Yep. That would be ideal for cities.
I can hear Claire, shout out to Claire. I can hear Claire going, can we put it on the sky somewhere so them spraying us off the planes, that we clean that up too? Is that a possibility, Patrick? Like, I chuckle about it because I'm like, to me this seems brilliant, right? It seems like, I don't know what anyone else thinks. I'm sitting here going like, man, I just want to go in a room now and just see what it feels like. Like, do you notice it? Is it something like you're like, wow, that's cool? On the same token, it seems like everything the powers that be are doing don't look at positive solutions. They look at different ways of making us dependent on them. So, like, to me, if you're making the air clean,
yep,
you're making people healthier, you're going to make them less dependent. And so it's like, well, maybe there's a reason why you haven't had a whole lot of luck with the powers that be.
Yep, that's exactly right.
Any final thoughts for the audience, Patrick? I don't mean to rush you out, but I'm like, oh, I'm meeting a guy from the Czech, and he is, right to the point. Right to the point. If you got anything else, you fire away.
No, I think that'll be it for from my side. Yeah, and I would be very glad if we can kind of exchange our informations on our YouTube channels or websites.
So what I'll do for the podcast, folks, is down in the show notes, I'll put Patrick's website and Patrick's YouTube channel. That way you can go look at some of the things. You can go look at the product itself. Where else would you like them to, if they're sitting in Calgary listening to this, I assume you got a business phone number, or would you just direct them all to the website?
Yeah, website, business phone number, sure. Yep.
What's your phone number? Well, I don't know. Do you want to give out your phone number? I don't know.
Sure, yeah. 587-574-1777.
There you
That's
go,
my
folks.
phone number.
And
the website, quite simple, wecleanair.ca.
wecleanair.ca.
That's it.
If you're looking for maybe an interesting solution to, well, I don't know, it's like, can you say, clean up if you go down the green side of it, they've really irritated me on that side, like immensely. But I think of you as like, not in the same breath, sorry, but like, just like Edison Motors. When I first met Chase Barber, I was against anything to do with an EV. Then I listened to him talk, and I'm like, that makes so much sense. Why aren't we doing that? And then with you, it's like, well, we could clean the air. I'm like, well, I don't know. Is the air that bad? And then I kind of chuckle because I'm like, I think it's the government just ham-fisting me on everything. Like they have no ability to do. It just seems like they can't address the root cause of the issues. Whether they want to or not, folks, is a different story. And this is an idea that I find very interesting. I'd heard of different ones in COVID, like putting, sorry, you could probably do this, in the air ducts, putting like red UV lights or something like that. Maybe I'm butchering this, to clean the air coming in and cleaning it that way. This is a similar idea, but it's a coating you put on the ceiling and you never have to worry about it again, essentially.
Yeah, the warranty for our applications, it's 10 years only. And it's because of the government restrictions. If it's not recoated, resprayed, repainted, it will be working even after 20 years, 30 years. again, it's not a chemical reaction, it's a photocatalytic reaction, so there is nothing to wear.
You're saying you can only guarantee it for 10 years because of government
Yes,
legislation.
that's right.
I think... Why would the government care if you guaranteed it for 20 years?
I don't know. Don't ask me. I'm not the government. I have no idea. They said 10 years is the maximum.
If
Or you
anything,
can-
if I was the government, wouldn't I be like, you want to guarantee it for 20 years? You go right ahead, right? Like, I would think it would be companies pushing for that number to be less so they're not on the hook for problems that happen 5 years in or 3 years in. We guarantee it for 1 year, but not for anything after that because we can't possibly know what you're going to do with it. You're saying you guarantee it for 10 years.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. Folks, Patrik, thank you for coming into the studio and doing this. Thanks for making the trip all the way to Lloyd. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Shaun.
I'll be curious what people say on this. Either way, it's taken some time, but I'm glad you finally made it and we got to sit here and do this.
Yeah, and you're more than welcome to visit my house. Or the
Oh,
bank.
folks, believe me, I'm calling Patrik up the next time I'm in Calgary. I'm going for a visit because I want to smell this clean air. I'm kind of
And
curious.
You will see happy wife, because my wife doesn't clean our house. There is no dust, no pollens. Our house, it's clean. No mopping, no vacuuming, none of that stuff.
Boy, you got any animals? Do you have a cat?
We have a dog, yep.
You have a dog,
No
Doesn't-
dog smell, no.
but dog doesn't shed.
No, not our dog, no.
You have a, what do they call that? I can't think.
Mini Schnauzer, they were actually bred for people with any kind of allergies. So the dog doesn't shed and doesn't create any, let's say, bad pollutants in the air.
So when you say there's no cleaning to do, obviously you spill something on the floor that's a little different. But you're
Yeah.
saying like from settling of the air, particles, this paint takes that all away? This coating? Forgive me.
Yeah, I'm talking about, again, airborne particles. Dust, pollens, mold, bacteria,
All gone.
all gone. Yep. 99.99%.
Well, that's interesting.
Yep.
All right.
That's why I told you at the beginning that I did a test on our house. The bedrooms, they have same amount of dust as any other house in Calgary. But they have kitchen, living room, dining room. Zero dust.
Folks, Patrik, thanks again for hopping in. You giving me more to think on. And yeah, when I'm in Calgary, I'll come bug you because I'm kind of curious now, right? I think if you haven't made a few of us curious, I'd be surprised. Thanks again for making the trip here.
Thank you, guys.